Hey all, thank you so much for joining in for today's vlog. It's going to be a little bit different for today. I just thought of I would bring a very informal conversation that I usually have with my husband to bring it to y'all as well. Maybe we can pick up some things from here. So it's going to be 2 questions which would have 10 answers. So let's see how it goes. So just to give you a bit of information before we would get into it. Now, my husband has been a pastor for past 15 years. So there has been, as I've mentioned before, that I would love to do vlogs wherein I talk more about church and the ministry oriented aspects. So today I would love to ask 2 questions to my husband, and let's see what answers he has, and let's see what we can pick up from there. Okay, so it's a very 2 simple question that I have for you. One would be, what are those 5 experiences that you've had in the church for past 15 years that has disappointed you a lot? And the other question would be, what are the other 5 fun aspects or things that you love to do when it comes to about you serving in the church? So let's go for the first one, the 5 things or experiences that has disappointed you in the 15 years of ministry.
All right. So it's quite an interesting question, but yeah, nevertheless, it's 15 years in church. Ministry has not been that long of a journey, but yes, certainly would like to share certain things, So for the 5 negatives, I would begin with the first one would be something called as the unrealistic expectations. Okay. And that would be in 2 ways. One, me keeping unrealistic expectations from God, and secondly would be people having unrealistic expectations towards the church. Now, when we started church back in Pune, the very first church that we planted, I had unrealistic expectations from God that as if it's gonna be something happening, people dropping in every day.
Yeah, I do remember
numbers growing and increasing rapidly.
I always expected the church to have 100 member people. I think by 4th or 5th service that we had, and it used to disappoint us, like when we used to see very few people coming in.
Yeah. And at the same time, yes, people have unrealistic expectations from the church also, where people have this feeling, there's a perfect church as such. No, they won't. The perfect church would be only when we all get together. On this earth, yes, there will be some areas where we will not be able to meet everybody's expectations, and we cannot make everybody happy. So yeah, that would be the first thing.
Unrealistic expectations. Yeah.
Expectations, yeah. And, second thing would be gossips. Gossips that happen inside the church. To be honest, gossip anywhere is not that good.
That's true.
And a church does go to a lot of rattling experiences when people come in, and gossips happen inside the church. That can really stop down the work or slow down the work, and we lose a lot of time inside the church
handling such
issues and such talks, giving a clarifications or justifications for everything. So obviously, gossip would be another factor that's very negative inside the church, and it has to stop. It has to stop with each and every individual. When it comes to you, you don't pay attention to it, ignore it, and the gossip stops with you. Yeah. That's the second thing. The third thing would be the pressure to perform. Yes. Yeah. Now we live in a world where everything is about performance. We live in a world where there are KPIs and other things where everything is tracked, and you want to know performance and everything. And somewhere down the line, even inside the church, there is great expectations for performances, and you start doing it automatically. Yeah. And people start performing. Worship leaders start performing. As pastors, we start.
It goes from God to self, and that really disappoints. Yeah. That's true.
It's like we try to hit a benchmark every time, and there's so much of expectation. Did it meet that point? Whereas church should be more about God. Yes. People should be more focused upon God, even if it's the most simplest and the leanest of the service. But if it's about God, then it does meet the objective and the purpose. So yes, third thing would be the pressure to perform. The fourth will be, yes, the cruelest of all, where you want to please people. It will be people pleasing. You know, where you want to please everyone.
I mean, people do have that expectation on you that that they get pastor's attention, you know, and it's all about pleasing them.
Yeah.
And yeah, that really disappoints, because you have to put in a card, like you don't you have to put in something which you really don't want to. And sometimes in what do you say, in the process of like trying to please, you tend to be someone else. Like you are not your own self, you know, it's not your true self that comes out. So, and that really,
so people pleasing was obviously be the
very
next thing that I want to talk,
factor.
which is very disappointing inside the church.
Yes.
And
So you've gone through that pressure, right?
sometimes,
When I
for
say you,
sure.
I'm sure it's both of us. Like we've
Yes,
gone through
for
that
sure,
pressure of
sometime.
where you have to, where you feel like, oh, somebody is unhappy because you're not catered or you're not attended to them the way they wanted. Yes,
Yeah.
that's so true.
And the fifth thing would obviously be something called as splits. This has been happening inside the church from the early century itself, and church keeps splitting because people are not happy.
And when we say people, at times it is also from the pastors, and we do acknowledge that.
There can be
multiple
reasons
yes.
for that.
Absolutely.
But every time a church splits, it's obviously not the best of feeling or the best of experience. Some may be happy, but not everyone, and it doesn't go good towards the kingdom of God. The other way people may look at it, more churches are happening, but that's not the right way. A church splitting is what Satan wants. Because when we are together, it's something that Satan doesn't want us to be. So yes, church split will be the fifth thing that we are not happy as a pastors, or something that shouldn't be happening in a church forever.
Those were some aspects that we've experienced all through of this 15 years of pastoral ministry that we've had. 15 minutes biases because we both joined in as youth pastors together, and we both joined in as senior pastors for the church that we planted back in the city of Pune. So these were some aspects. I'm sure there are many, but few of them that we could point out to which we can say was disappointing in that little span of ministry that we can look back and talk about. Now comes the time of talking about the good things that we've had in ministry that we still enjoy. So yeah, what would be those 5 aspects or factors or positive things that we enjoy doing in ministry?
A church or being a pastor can always be very, very beautiful, very blessed, joyful experiences.
Yes.
When you know God has called you into this office, you'll really cherish and enjoy it, and you'll be able to take the burden of it and move forward.
Yes.
So I want to say that when you know God has called you into pastoral ministry, that is where you'd be able to stand and take this journey forward. So 5 positive things. I believe we can add many more to it.
Absolutely.
We want to group everything into these 5. So the first thing would be obviously celebrations of life. In a church, there are so many things, so many episodes or events where you get to celebrate life. Something like a newborn baby.
That's the most beautiful thing that
when you get
enjoy.
the opportunity to name the baby or dedicate the baby.
Yes.
It's such a pleasure, such a joy, where God enables us to fulfill that role. To bring the parents together and the baby and dedicating it to the Lord.
It brings a smile on my face even now, because we have one more baby that is delivered in the church. Our family has got a new baby and many more to come. So it's still, even now I feel very joyful about that thing when we talk about it, to celebrate when a baby is born and dedicating the child to the Lord. It's such a beautiful
as a
thing.
pastor, it's very joyful when you're able to hold that baby in your hand and dedicate it to God.
Yes.
That would be there. Then you talk about the baptisms that happen,
Yes.
marriages that happen inside
Yes.
the church, or people seeing the blessings of God when they have a
Yes.
new home and you
Yeah.
get to dedicate their homes,
Yeah.
or pray for the other blessings that happen in their lives.
Basically, like being part of every
Every
celebration that
is
happens in
connected
a
to life.
member's life.
And
Yes.
last but not the least, though painful, yes, the funeral services or
Yeah.
the homegoings, though it's a pain at times, but it's a joy to know when a soul is going to be in the kingdom
I
of God.
have been I'm still a very emotional person when I'm like, I know if I go to any funeral, even if that person was not connected to me, when it's a funeral, you end up crying. But I remember one old mother who passed away in our church. I think that was the only funeral where I've not cried, because I've known that lady, I've seen her life. She passed away when she was 80. But I did not cry in her funeral. It was real celebration, like knowing what life she has lived. So yeah, when such things happen, it brings joy. When you see a person being joined to the Lord who has lived life very meaningful, it really fills your heart with joy. That's so very true. Yes.
So yes, there are so many occasions of joy and celebrations in this pastoral ministry that you get to be happy and celebrate that. So that would be the first thing. Second thing would be when you see the young souls in the church who get geared up for Christ and start
Absolutely.
serving God.
Absolutely.
Who catch up the vision, who catch up the fire, and they stand and they serve God. And as a pastor, then that is great joy.
Yes.
Instead of seeing a young soul going into a wrong direction and you're distressing over that, other part is joy when you see them stand tall,
Serving the Lord.
and serving God and growing in Him. Obviously, is a second moment of great joy and celebration.
Yes,
in the pastor's
absolutely.
life.
Yeah.
The third would be when church, goes beyond the four walls to impact the community. Church again is not a place where you close down and sit inside and be happy and contented in yourself, but when you are able to go beyond the four walls, the church impacts the community around you. The church impacts the lives that are around you.
Yeah.
When you see church doing that, it's really moments of joy and happiness.
And that's what the Lord did, right? The Lord was found in the marketplaces. Like He was meeting up with people. He was there inside the community. It was not like that, He was just found in the synagogue preaching and teaching the word of God. So I believe it is very important, and that really brings a lot of joy.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are those moments when you go out and touch lives in the community
Yeah.
that really makes us happy, and
Yeah.
it gives you a satisfaction feel,
Absolutely.
a fulfillment feel,
Yes.
that yes, you've done what the Lord has called the church to do.
Yes. Yes.
Having
very
said that,
much.
the fourth again would be something where I would say church beyond the Sunday. When that becomes a lifestyle in the church, it's really joyous occasions when you feel that church is not just that 2 hours on a Sunday. When people desire to meet often, fellowship, they meet together to worship, to talk, to learn about God, or a gathering where they just want to sit together and pray for. That's again a very beautiful feel with regards to the church, our experience inside the church, where we go beyond that, the stereotyping of the church, and not just Sunday 2 hours, but we see church throughout the week.
Yes.
And being together to serve God and worship God. Yes, that would be the fourth thing. And the fifth thing is obviously any church or any pastor would say or do, when your church grows,
It makes you
you
happy.
feel happy, you feel
Yes.
joy. Every soul that walks into the church brings great joy.
Yes.
Every new individual or every newcomer who walks into the church brings great joy. So church growth would obviously be the greatest joy. So
Yes.
these are the 5 things, Sarah. Yeah, the 5
Okay.
negatives and the 5 positives from my side.
Okay, thank you. So what is the takeaway for you all from this? Like, now you are in a church and if not completely, but somewhere very close to, I'm sure all your pastors would like or dislike something very closer to what we have mentioned. So I would really encourage all of you all that whichever part of the church you are in, whichever church you're going in, if you can stand up with the man of God and, what do you say, together, if we can work things out where we bring down all the negatives and bring up all the positives in the place where we fellowship, I'm sure it will bring glory to the name of the Lord. Let's just discourage gossips in the church. Let's just discourage splits in the church. Let's just discourage unrealistic expectations, all those things. Let's just bring them down and let's lift up the fellowship that we need to have. Let it go beyond our Sundays. Let's go out and impact the community that is around us. Let's concentrate on all those positive factors, and I believe as we do that, we'll be a healthy church, a church that is ready for the second coming of the Lord. Amen. I believe that this a little content that we could share with you all has blessed you all. Do let us know what you all feel about, and if you have any more inputs that you want to put in about negative or the positive aspects, feel free to put that in the comment section. Would love to go through it. Thank you so much. Have a great week ahead. God bless you all.
God bless you.